strange that we got this now, because I could have sworn they were going to wait for Wish to do this. You know, the film that's coming out later this year, not The Cruise. I don't know why they did this early, but hey, that is one less reason for me to see that movie now. Seriously, it looks very generic, and I'm a bit worried about what they are going to do with the villain. Please be like the Renaissance again. Just please make an actual good villain that's not a twist, redeemed, or not a villain, please. Hey, remember when I said that in my Disney video last month on Once Upon a Studio? Well, the movie Wish is now out. I hate to disappoint you people, but this film was much better than I expected. Wish was actually good! Glad that despite the marketing for this not good, it ended up being much better than expected. At the start of this year, there were 3 films that the entire public was confused about giving a feel for: Elemental, Ruby Gillman, and Wish. Now I have finally seen all 3 films, so before I get to Wish, let's do a mini review on the other 2. Elemental, I did a whole Pixar path-on. It's a slightly above average movie, but I wouldn't go out of my way in saying it's one of Pixar's best movies. I give it a 6 out of 10. Oh my fucking god, I hate Ruby Gillman! I'll get to why next year for the full reason, but for now, I'll just say that it's such a boring and it's the worst DreamWorks film ever. Good job, DreamWorks. You were doing such a great job in 2022 and you sunk it this year. Figuratively and literally. Now back to Wish. A lot of people are calling this movie generic and just an ad for the 100th anniversary of Disney, and that it's a disappointment of a 100th anniversary special. I disagree. I thought the film was engaging enough that I enjoyed it all the way through. To be fair, I thought it was gonna be that going in, like suck, but I'm glad I was proven wrong. We should go over my points of where exactly I was worried. How about the goat first? Yeah, we'll start with that. I was a little bit worried about the goat. I thought he was going to be an annoying sidekick, but he ended up being much funnier in the actual film, and some of the best lines from the movie come from him. It also helps that Valentino, the goat's name, has a purpose. Obviously, he's more important than something like the chicken from Moana, but I do believe the film would not be the same without having the goat. Speaking of chickens, I love when he commands the chickens. That's a laugh. The art style. So there was a post recently where Disney stated that they were originally gonna use 2D animation for the film, but reject the idea. Yeah, I can see why people hate this. Now, the animation itself I do like. It's stylized in 3D. One of my biggest criticisms for every single film from Disney in the canon this decade, bad like Raya, amazing like Encanto, and average like Strange World, is that they all look the same. Not helping is that their films all look like the 2010s films. I guess they're technically better than the 2D films of the 20th century, but I always prefer the 20th century style of art over the 21st century solely because of the uniqueness to it. To put it honestly, you could take a background character from Tangled and a background character from Raya, and they could honestly look like they're from the same movie. After watching the Wish trailer from months back and seeing the trailer recently, the art style grew on me. So yeah, I actually like the art style. It's a type of 3D I've never seen them do before. It's not as expressive as something like Spider-Verse or Puss in Boots 2. 2 films that have better visual styles than Wish, and probably both films better than Wish in my opinion. But experimenting is something that I appreciate, and obviously, experiments have their duds. Look at all those motion capture films.
Oh, it's disgusting!
But for me, I at least like the animation for Wish. So, the 7 Dwarves. Yes, it's an obvious cameo nod to Snow White. Easily the best one is the one that does Grumpy. I laughed at least a dozen times at his jokes. Never trust a pretty face. That's why I hang out with you guys. Lol, I love Gabbo. Gabbo is easily the best part of this entire movie, and he's my favorite character in it. Most of the jokes that I laughed at in this movie come from him. The names of the dwarves are Dahlia for Doc, Bazima for Bashful, Gabbo for Grumpy, Hal for Happy, Simon for Sleepy, Dario for Dopey, and Safi for Sneezy. Speaking of the dwarves, I do like how there's a bit of a twist villain for Sleepy, and there's this line from Yago that I think is important.
I can't believe Carpet did this.
He's always been the perfect gentleman.
Yeah, sword coming a mile away. It's always the quiet guy that snaps.
Now we get to talk about the villain. Yes, for the first time in 13 years, Disney has a villain on the big screen, and he's pretty fun. And yes, I love his songs, shut up. I'm sick and tired of people hating it. It's just a great villain song. And yes, I love pop music. Once again, shut the fuck up. What makes Magnifico great is that he's a real villain. Not a bad villain, not a fake villain, not a twist villain, an actual villain. Honestly, Magnifico could belong in the Renaissance of villains. He is that good of a villain. And they let you know pretty quickly that he's a villain, like less than a half hour in. He kinda acts like Cusco from The Emperor's New Groove. It's kind of like if Cusco was his asshole self and remained that way for the whole film, never fixing himself. But it's fine for Magnifico, don't worry, because we're supposed to hate him. Also, I'm beginning to come to the realization in fiction that if someone can grant your wishes, then they're bound to be evil. Ursula in The Little Mermaid, Cubey in Madoka Magica, and even Bill Cipher for Gravity Falls. These guys can all grant wishes, but you're better off not making a wish because of the prices that the good guys paid. Like Ariel losing her voice to the Sea Witch, Hamara is forced to repeat time, and Dipper becomes a puppet for Dorito. I mean, who isn't evil and can grant wishes? Aside from him. Come on, G, go back to your special, the 100. That's where you belong. I mean, what do you want me to say? The Fairy Odd Parents? Have you heard Cosmo's voice?
Poof, you're home, and you grew a body!
'Cause I'm Timmy!
Anyway, the villain here gets wishes from everyone. He determines whether or not your wish is worthy of making real. He states he does this to protect Rosas. The problem is he's greedy and keeps the wishes all to himself. Worse still is that you can't even remember your wish after you wished upon it. Damn, that's fucking harsh. Note to self, write down what you want your wish to be on a piece of paper. Is Magnifico the greatest villain ever? No. He's not as iconic or memorable as Ursula, Jafar, Scar, or even Gaston. But I liked him more than, say...
It's gold,
Wish has been getting a lot of hate because of deleted scenes not used. Like how there was gonna be a duo villain couple. Kinda like Team Rocket if they kept them evil. I mean, it is a good idea, but I do like what we got. I actually enjoy the Queen still being good. Also, people complain how this movie is immature. If you want me to sum up my thoughts on Wish and the criticism it got that I don't feel is deserved in 10 seconds or less, I just use this.
This movie isn't stupid! You're stupid!
Not every movie needs a life-changing plot. Yes, it was good in Encanto. I cried during it. But guess what? I can have a good time without needing to cry. I love simple stuff. I mean, one of my favorite anime is Lucky Star, and the first episode does an 8-minute opening talking about nothing but food.
Which end of a chocolate cornet is the head, the fat end or the skinny end?
Wish is a movie that everyone should see.
Yeah? I didn't even see this movie until I heard from our critics that it was bad. Therefore, it's a bad movie.
Nope, I'm not using that fucking bastard again. This is actually a point that pisses me off. People are saying things like, because this big crit that does not really give a fuck about their actual fans, a negative review. I don't need to spend my money. Yes, real idiots are saying this. Here's what I have to say. Watch it yourself and form your own fucking opinion. Don't parrot some popular person's opinion. The only main criticism I had for Wish was at the end they had the credits of everyone and not all the movies came. As much as I hate The Rescuers and think it's the worst Disney canon film and would have honestly put it at last place, like number 62 now, if I redid the canon list I did last year, you should have shown the stars for that. I don't see any reason not to. Just because I don't like the film doesn't mean it's not important for Disney. For Wish, you should see this movie. I give it a 9 out of 10. It's a very good film. And, yeah, that's all I got. Happy 100th anniversary to Disney.